will, of course, play the usual spinning wheel of names game and hear from several of you, hopefully all of you, about, a little bit more about your background, as well as keeping it in sync with chapter 7, knowing one or two of your favorite verses, why that's the case, what it means to you spiritually, and so on.
In the meantime, you can all continue to look at your books, and if you haven't prepared or thought about it, just sift through and see which is your favorite verse if the spinning wheel comes to your name. So how we're going about it, that you talk about yourself a little bit. Let's be very crisp and short so that more people can get time. Today is participants galore, okay? So we want to speak as little as possible, and we want to give you all an opportunity to speak as much as possible, okay? So talk about yourself a little bit, and then talk about the favorite verse.
Okay.
So Sanviji, since you joined the last, so here we have.
This is good because we don't have to give a lot of instructions.
Yeah, so Daleji, let's hear from you, Daleji. Wow.
Radha, how did I get so lucky?
Yeah. Grace.
So, yes, I agree. So what a great game. So I like every verse in chapter 7, but I think one of my favorites is toward the beginning. The verse 2, in English, it says, I shall now, Krishna is speaking to us and saying that he shall now reveal unto us fully this knowledge and wisdom, knowing which nothing else remains to be known. And this chapter is about yoga through realization of divine knowledge. And it's called Jnana Vijnana Yoga, with the Jnana meaning knowledge, but the Vijnana, or the wisdom, really coming from above, So we're receiving knowledge here on earth, from each other that's coming down to us by grace. We can study all that we want, but, in the end, we also need to have a connection with God in order to really understand what he's talking about. So I love this verse because he's saying this, that if you have both the knowledge, the spiritual knowledge from the scriptures and from being in satsang like we are in this class, and then if you keep, as Meenuji always says, slowly taking it in and applying it, then we can become such that our mind and our heart are available for the showering of grace like that.
I really love your response, Daleji. Actually, this is the crux of this chapter, basically. Yes, this is the crux, that we do gain knowledge from reading scriptures, from listening to Swamiji's videos, lectures, being on this platform, trying to learn together. But this is all still knowledge, Jnana. But Vijnana is that wisdom which dawns upon us with the grace of God. That is the most important thing which Krishna is telling us here. And I just love your response. Thank you so much, Daleji. So here we go, Dineshji.
Radhe, Radhe. I'm Dinesh Shah from Orlando, Florida. And I'm associated with JKYog for last maybe 4 years with the 2019 retreat. And I attend mostly some online classes in the morning for maybe 1.5 to 2 hours, and in the evening another 2 hours. Chapter 7, I like the verse 14. Daivi dvesa gunamayi mama maya Duratyaya mameva me prapadyante maya metam tarantiye. That's a sloka I like, that said that maya is very, very difficult to get over with it. Only with the grace of God we can overcome the maya.
Yes, very well said, Dinesh ji. This is a beautiful verse. Now, the only one point is little missing. So, grace of God, yes, we need. But how do we get that
Yeah,
grace?
we have to surrender to the God.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we have to surrender. So
Yeah.
surrender is the very important word here that Krishna is teaching us, that we have to have faith and trust in God, because everything is happening from God's energy. And once we have faith and we surrender, then we'll be able to cross this ocean of Maya, because God, Maya is also God's own energy, right? And
Right.
God has put that Maya energy behind us, troubling us and attracting us all the time. But we have to learn to surrender. Thank you so much, Dinesh ji, and so happy to have you always in our sessions. We
Thank you.
really appreciate your continuous participation. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe.
Bye.
Thanks.
Spinning that now. All right. Can we have you on video, please, Bilji?
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Good morning.
So I'm currently living in Tampa, Clearwater, Florida, outside Tampa. And we came here in 2017 from Colorado, where we met Swamiji, I think in 2013, by what I would describe as divine coincidence. So we have been very blessed to be associated with Swamiji, JKYog, with Kripalaji Maharaj, and feel it's the culmination of many, many years of being associated with the Hindu spiritual traditions. So it's so hard to pick up. Quick story. Many years ago, Dale was at a friend's house when we were living in Maryland, and she was talking with her young boy, he was four years old about, and he had a collection of little toy cars. He was showing her, probably about 18, 19, 20. And every time he'd pick up a toy car, he would say, "This is my favorite." And then he'd pick up another one. "This is my favorite." So I think we could go through chapter 7 and with every verse and basically say, "This is my favorite." But for today, I'm going to refer to one that actually has very little commentary, and that's verse 28. But persons whose sins have been destroyed by engaging in pious activities become free from the illusion of dualities. Such persons worship me with determination. Now, what's struck me there was the phrase pious activities, and that brought to mind Rup Dhyan meditation, because as Swamiji has pointed out, Rup Dhyan is such an important part in our spiritual progress and bhakti. So I have spent years trying to improve my Rup Dhyan, and slowly I think it's been getting better, getting more meaningful, or having more energy or vibrancy. So and I've felt that just that has helped me make progress in life. So then the other word that sticks out is determination, because once we really sort of get a grasp of when we maybe go from that point of being 50-50 to 60-40, where we're now 60% pious and 40% Maya oriented, then we really start to gain momentum. At least I hope that's the case, and worship the Lord with determination.
Yes, thank you very much. And then what I like your divine coincidence. divine coincidence. And then it does not happen just like that. Because your patra means your vessel, the vessel of your heart was already prepared. It was ready. You had real quest and for getting this divine knowledge. So that is what is the divine coincidences. That is God's grace, which happened. And that is how, and that is why you met Swamiji and you further, moved fast on this path of spirituality. That is what Krishna is telling, that grace is very important. And you
Tarunji, I see you're here. If you're able to come on video, that would be great. And we'd love to hear from
Sure.
you.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So I'm Tarun Gupta calling from, I've joined from Ghaziabad, India. So I think this is my third class. So I have not gone through all the verses that have been explained in 7, but while going through just scrolling through the verses in the book, I found one which I might like to share one. The one I found interesting and relevant, and the one I found quite interesting. So it's Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanvanam Mam Prapadyate Vasudevah Sarvamiti Samahatma Sadurlabha. It was
And that's
7.19.
19, I
verse
believe.
number 19.
Yes,
19.
9.
Yes.
Yeah. So that means after many births of spiritual practice, one who is endowed with the knowledge, surrender unto me, knowing me, all that is, such a great soul is indeed very rare. So yeah, that's I feel it somehow connecting to me that means from the spiritual practice, from the spiritual things in my family, we know that we have family used to do the worship and other things, but it was the something like the knowledge which until it struck to me that who is Lord Krishna and what is our job, who is Brahm, who is Jeev, and what is our relationship to the super soul. So when that knowledge has come onto me, somehow the kind of surrender has grown, or the kind of devotion has automatically grown. So yes, devotion is ultimate, but as this shloka verse is saying, that once you get that knowledge, that devotion grows, and that I personally somehow am feeling that until now it used to be kind of ritualistic worship, but as I am learning Bhagavad Gita from you and the book, that devotion is deepening. Although I am still beginner, but yeah, I am feeling I am connecting and I'm getting into the devotion. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Very well said. Gagan, you want to talk about this verse?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you so much, Tarunji. Radhe Radhe. And I think I really appreciate how you mentioned that it's, progress that you're making, and it's always going to be, slow and steady. It's going to be incremental. But I think you've also mentioned from your experience that you've had that sense of knowledge or the inculcation from, elders and family members. But now as you're able to also connect it to actual verses in the Bhagavad Gita, items written in our scriptures, then it's making even more practical sense to you. And I think, you're seeing that knowledge evolve into, in a way, Vijnana as well, right? That inner wisdom converting into bhakti, into devotion. And that is, of course, what continues or helps you continue on that journey. So, yep, thank you so much, Tarunji. So now the chances of being picked are very high for those who are here. All right, Sudhakarji.
But your session, I like it very much. Particularly, I like the captions you use. And, that is really helping me, when I just remember those 2 words, then I immediately recollect, the essence of it. So for me, I like that really very much. And of course, the which session and how you really, put the questions. And I like this session that to be very simple, not to take too many verses. You just go ahead with a couple of verses. And I think Mataji is explaining very nicely and emphasizing on some of the words. And I learned some tips, like one of the last 7th chapter, she advised to not to remember certain phrases where Bhagavad Gita Lord Krishna was mentioning. So later I read this chapter 7, and I have noted a few things like, Krishna was calling Arjuna 10 different names in the chapter. And I noted all those names, and similarly used another word 4 times, prapunjate, that is, I think, so that way I'm just also learning something, tips from this class. So I'm really thankful to you and Mataji for this wonderful session, and of course, ultimately to the Swamiji, who is the, the creator of this session, and all glories to him. Yeah. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sudhakarji, for such kind words. Thank you. Yes, it is all blessings of Swamiji. And of course, we loved his book, commentary, the Song of God. So we are following word by word from this book only. And that gives us great pleasure to slowly understand what Swamiji has written here. And together we are moving on the path of spirituality. Thank you so much. And let's continue to, take these baby steps and continue to move on the path of spirituality. Let's take blessings from Radha Rani. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.